Hey everybody, it's Dave. It's Friday afternoon here in Florida. Started off real cloudy day. There's still clouds, but it is hotter than a damn firecracker. Woo! If you can get out in the sun, feels good though. You know what I mean? It's good to be hot. So anyway, beautiful souls, I want you to have a magnificent weekend. There's a lot going on here. We all know what today is. We all know what tomorrow is. We're going into May. May Day. Oh my. Then the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Oh my. Cinco de Mayo. Oh my. There's another full moon in there. I think it's I don't know if it's an eclipse, but it just, people, if you don't understand that all these things are significant to you and everybody around you, the world, what you see in the world, political, military, everything in society, you need to start paying attention. Start looking into these things. Look and find information at sources you would not normally go to. Those people you think are wackadoodle, why don't you give them a few minutes? You listen to them. Listen how they'll explain it to you, because they're not wackadoodle. After you give it a minute, all of a sudden you go, oh my God. Now I know why they kept it from me. Now I know why they thought, they wanted me to think that they were all crazier than, I'm telling you, there's good things coming down the road. Absolutely beautiful things coming down the road. Do not get caught up in everything. Everything that makes you feel uneasy is created as drama, chaos, to keep you looking everywhere except on the most important thing, right? I love all of you guys, man. I miss all of you. Y'all need to get out here, because first of all, I got more hugs than I know what to do with. I got to give some hugs. And I could use a few hugs, quite frankly. A good hug. And not all hugs that are given are reciprocal. I need a reciprocal hug. I need a big reciprocal. I want to feel your heartbeat against my chest. So much it makes my ears pop. Anyway, I digress. I apologize. Listen, when us wackadoodles, in your opinion, kind of get in your face and talk about stuff like this, we aren't doing this because we're mad at you. We're a little frustrated. We're not mad at you. We love you. We love you enough to let you know that all the things that upset you are based on lies. There's nothing to be upset about, other than the fact that evil has been deceiving you, and that there are other evil people who are part of that evil that are deceiving you. Yeah, naturally, you should be upset about that. But once you get your butt hurt over it, you need to understand that we collectively, and I don't care what you think about this, God, source, universal consciousness, Buddha, Krishna, I don't give a rat's butt tootie. We could talk about that one time, person to person. I'll break it down for you. You'll get a different understanding. But anyway, collectively, no matter what, your reaction or response to the things going on around you actually can create what happens next. So, when we get irritated in any way, shape, or form, we are moving from a position of fear. We all know that if you go hunting, you want the animal to fear, because it freezes them. That way they're a target. You can take them down. Same with human beings. When we're in constant flight or fright or fear, terrified, whatever, we are controllable. We are completely controllable. We don't even know we're under control. We're that controllable. And just because you make a whole bunch of money doesn't mean you're less controllable. Just because you think you're comfortable doesn't mean you're comfortable. People lie to themselves all the dang time. I know plenty of people who are multimillionaires who get on social media of various kinds and they bitch, moan, and complain, always talking about what's happening as if it's happening to them. And I'm like, this dude couldn't buy his way out of fear in a wet paper bag on the same day with the power of Jesus behind him. It just wouldn't happen. It can happen to any of us. It has happened to every single one of us. Some of us are aware. Some of us were brought into this world aware. There are some people who had family members who figured out that we were aware right off the bat. And some of them supported us secretly. Some of them came against us. They spent their entire lives trying to keep our mouths shut because they knew who we were. They knew the kind of power we would wield. And they knew that we were anti-establishment and that the establishment that they were living it up and having a good time with was going to burn the whole MF down. We can elect to give things over to these evil entities. You can do that. Sure. It won't last forever. Ultimately, evil loses. That's just the way it is. But you can certainly drag it out. You can make it absolutely miserable. Just sit and focus on miserable things while you're in this state of fear, and it will perpetuate itself. If you think of positive things, stop praying into. Turn off Netflix. Turn off the television. You don't need none of it. None of it. Go find a good book that's uplifting. If there is drama and chaos in the people around you and the things that you're putting in your mind, radio, television, friends, you need to stop doing those things. Seriously. I'm in the middle of being separated on my way to a divorce, and those energetic bonds won't go away because the other party says, I'm over you, and they're not. I feel their energy. They are clung to me as tightly as if they were standing right here in my presence. Why? Because their whole life is a fucking mess. I don't mean to be slamming on people, but seriously, if there's drama, you need to get rid of it. If there's chaos, if your life is messed up day to day to day to day to day, it won't ever get better until you escape that environment. Turn off the TV. Do not watch the horror movie. Do not watch them lie to you on any news channel. All these people going away from Fox News. You shouldn't have been watching Fox News to begin with. You shouldn't have been watching any of those things. Because it doesn't matter how conservative or liberal or whatever you believe, they all lie. Every last single one of them. There are people in the truth movement, whether you know them or not. I know people on both sides, so I just observe. But I can tell you, some of them have some decent information. I'm actually personal friends with some of these people, and I see the video they put out, and I'm going, why are you saying that? Why are you causing fear? Why would you say something that is upsetting to somebody? We've won this battle. It's just a matter, it has to play out. The Bible even tells you, whether you believe it or not, there's a lot of truth in Scripture, okay? And the other thing you probably don't know or not is all the other quote-unquote religious writings. There's a bunch of truth in them too, and there's some misdirection, just like in the Bible. It's all meant to keep you off balance. You need to go find some peace. I could tell you what, if everybody is sick of the shit that's going on in the world, I know it terrifies you, but literally, when you get off work today, go to the grocery store, get you plenty of groceries. Go to the bank, draw out as much money as you think you're gonna need, and then devise a plan with your family, or maybe it's just yourself. I'm not going back to work until the nuttiness stops. Turn off the television, don't go back to work, Don't go out and buy things. Don't go out and do things. Sit your ass still. If everybody were to do that, large, it doesn't even take everybody. It's such a small number of people are causing all this crap. If one third of the population of the United States sat their ass down and said, I'm done, I've had enough. I'm not buying any more stock. I'm not buying any more cheeseburgers. I'm not paying for my Netflix. I'm not watching the news. I got all that I need. And even if you don't, I don't. Y'all think I might be successful? Listen, I'm living out of this thing right here behind me. I don't know if you can see it. I can't even see the damn screen. The sun's so bright anymore. But I live out of this thing right there. I have things in storage. I've had a decent life publicly. And I do have a good life mentally, and that's the most important thing. I had to do some things to get my clothes washed. I had to do some things to get me washed. I still haven't shaved because I don't have anywhere I can make that kind of mess. I know I got a beard, but you still got to trim it up and stuff, and that takes some electricity and some running water and so forth. I'm clean. I just don't. I'm not the best of me, you know. I'm not a vain person, but I kind of like to look decent. Makes me feel good. Y'all should do these things, by the way. One thing that aggravates the living piss out of me is when somebody says, I'm just jeans and t-shirt. Listen, if you live on a farm, jeans and a t-shirt is appropriate attire. But if you're out amongst people and you want to socialize, clean your ass up, put on some nice clothes, do your hair. There's nothing wrong with any of that thing. Comb your beard, comb your hair, cut your hair, put on some makeup. Don't put on makeup. Wear tattoos. Don't put on tattoos. Get a tan. Don't get a tan. Whatever it is, look and feel your best. That's the most important thing, okay? Jeans and a t-shirt are appropriate in certain settings. They are comfortable when you're not trying to impress anybody. But don't walk through the world in pajamas and in your house shoes at Walmart. That's a public thing. And I'm not your friend. I'm not your family. I don't see that. Make yourself presentable. I'm not saying to be fake. Just make yourself presentable. Have some self-respect. Do the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's looking for perfect. God's source, universal consciousness, whatever it is, isn't looking for perfect. They want to see that you're putting in effort. Put in the effort. And if you don't understand why you don't understand these things, that's because you keep looking outside for validation, or you've given up on validation altogether. And either one of those things says that you need to sit down in a quiet room, shut the door, turn out the lights, and look at yourself and just start self-evaluating. It's like looking at a mirror, except you're only seeing on the inside of your eyelids. If there's pain, come to grips with it. Let the tears flow. If there's trauma, if somebody did something to hurt you in the past, they may be alive, they may not be alive. They may be part of your life, they may not be part of your life. And I'm not telling you to stay in an abusive situation or even a physically threatened situation. But I am telling you that you, first of all, in your head, need to make peace of it so that you're not afraid of it anymore. If you need to physically move. Get up, get out, do what I'm doing. Get in touch with me. I don't know that I have the answers, but maybe I'll find somebody who can help you. Don't stay put. If the person is deceased or they've moved on for whatever reason, do not let them rent space in your head. Get rid of that. Make peace with it. Work through it. Cry. Bawl. Get mad. It's okay to get mad. You should get mad when it's appropriate to get mad. If somebody does you wrong, get mad. But you got to get it out, because we all need to get over these things so that we can start moving in the direction. It's not going to be a snap your fingers type of deal where it's love and peace and happiness and rainbows and butterflies. It could be theoretically, but that's not how it's going to happen Everybody's moving at their own pace, but the pace has got to include movement. You've got to all be going in the same direction. You can't have somebody going that way twice as hard as you're trying to go this way. Or maybe you're not even trying to go this way. Apathetic, sitting still, is the killer of everything. I mean, we've all heard how's the phrase go? All evil needs is for good men to sit on their hands, or something to that effect. It's the same. It's true for everybody. We've all been sitting here driving down the roads, but our eyes are closed and our hands are off the steering wheel. And we seem to think that that's okay. That's okay. Everything will work out. Oh, this is just the way the world is. Bullshitty. This is not the way the world is supposed to be. I got news for you about Eden and heaven. Same place. Same exact place. Nobody locked anybody out of it. We walked away from it because of our egos. That's a big subject, but now you know it's there. If we'll peel back all this concrete, tear down all this unnecessary stuff, Eden is right in front of us. This planet is beautiful. Human beings have tried their very best to not make it beautiful. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, I digress again. I kind of got off topic. There's so many topics. Let me tell you. Listen, you're going to have to be more positive every single day. When a negative thought comes in, or a depressive thought comes in, because you're butthurt about this or that, or you're out of control and you don't know how to do, once again, deal with it. These are all trauma responses, fear responses that aren't real. Stop worrying about it. Do the best you can. Find your faith that there is something out there, whatever you want to label it, that didn't want any of this for you, and he will take care of you if you believe. I decided to walk away from everything that everybody told me I should stay with. Things that made life comfortable. Not good, but comfortable. I have no money to take care of myself. I've been existing because I had the favor of selling an RV. I didn't make a bunch of money off of it. In fact, I had to pay a bunch just to sell it. Well, that money dried up. So I don't have, I've been considered disabled for a very long time. 20 years I have not worked a real damn job. So, for those people who think, well, just go get a job. Think about that for a second. It's not as easy as you think it is, especially in the environment we work in. But I did it anyway. It brings me more peace. Things aren't perfect, but it brings me more peace because I eliminated the person who was torturing my brain. And they're not inherently bad person. I think they were a good person that refuses to deal with their shit. And when I say their shit, somebody did something to them in their past. I have a lot of knowledge on this, but they know that I know, but they don't want to deal with it. They still, from a personal level, they don't want to deal with it. And it has caused them to make terrible choices in life. In the way they treat themselves, in the way they treat people, the way they treat other family members, how they go about taking this, that, and the other thing that they think they are owed from people who didn't owe them anything other than cooperation if they were in a relationship. I'm just singing these things not to beat somebody up. I'm telling you because you might find some familiarness in your situation. You gotta heal. We all have to heal. It's gonna take time, even though I've done a lot of healing, but I'm not completely healed. But I'm gonna live like I know I'm going in the right direction because I know that I am. There's no shortcuts. If you got a bunch of shit and you know it and you don't ever want to talk about it, better start today, because it's going to take a while. There is no shortcuts. I'm sorry, there's just not. You're going to have to get past that, and you're probably going to have to do that on your own. And I hate to tell you, everybody knows that these marvelous stories about redemption, rising like a phoenix, are always preluded by somebody being absolutely crushed, maybe even killed. It's not a metaphor. In order to get to a place where you humble yourself enough to work on yourself, you might need to be crushed several times. I wish it didn't have to happen that way. Sometimes, one good ruin leads to all the blessings. There's a lesson in everything you think is happening to you. It's not happening. It's an opportunity. It's a, hey, here's your sign that something's not right in your life and you need to fix it. They're going to keep the powers that be. I'm talking about people here. I'm talking from a spiritual level. God, Jesus, the angels, all these benevolent beings, other human beings. They want you to do good, and they're all consciously or unconsciously, knowing or unknowingly, working in your favor to get you to level up. It may not seem like it, because what they may do physically, emotionally, mentally, is work against you, but they're doing that so that you'll snap out of the illusion you're in and actually see the world for what it is. And there is such a thing, I guess, as eternal love, because we meet people and we build up a connection. And there's actually, this gets way deep for those people who don't believe in reincarnation, but there's love that follows you from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. So that's kind of eternal. But through these experiences and these lessons, some people are only meant to be there for a season, and it doesn't matter how involved you were with them. If there is an aspect of that relationship that needs to end in order for you to grow, and by the way, it doesn't have to be in the favor of both people. It can be in the favor of one person. If one person says, yes, I'm ready to step up, the universe, God, the angels, Jesus, are going to do everything they can, using everything at their disposal to tear that relationship apart. That season is done. That person gets, the little blue check mark that they give away at Twitter, and they're now validated. I am moving to the next step. I am leveling up. I'm getting a reward by having my heart torn apart and broken, because there's better things. The other person is getting a lesson, but it's a harder lesson. They may need several more lessons before they even move on to wherever they are on their journey. So don't misunderstand that when you couple up with somebody, that everything that happens between you as a couple, married, unmarried, whatever, is for the betterment of both of you. And even if you get into, let's say you get married to this fantastic person and everything seems to go well, your business partners, you have a big family, many children, grandchildren, successful businesses, you make all kinds of money, everything seems to be moving right. It doesn't mean that would just last and last and last forever. Maybe it was your agreement to come back and just jack off for a lifetime. You got nothing accomplished. You just had a good time. You never stop learning, by the way. No matter how much you get into the experience and the desire to actually upgrade and learn, it's an ongoing process. You will continuously learn more and more and more and more. There's a bit lesson after lesson after lesson, and with every lesson that you complete, you move on to a new lesson. The blessings begin to take place. So understand that sometimes you're going to have to in the process of crossing the river, you're going to have to swim real fast away from the alligators. You're going to have to go underwater so that the hippopotamuses, you kind of have to slither away from them. There's a lot. I mean, you're going to get dirty. It's going to be messy. This is how we learn to deal with things, though. We learn about ourselves, we learn about others, and how to be more efficient, more successful, more spiritual, more closer to our God, rely on the right things and not the wrong things. That's how you learn. You don't learn shit at school. For all of you who think that that's what happens at school, colleges and so forth, everything is a trade school. I don't care what it is. I don't care what your profession it is. It could be operated like a trade school. You don't need all this other superfluous shit, and you don't need to spend millions of dollars and go into this massive debt. Everything is a trade. It's just specialized information. You're nothing special. Give another person the same opportunity and don't ask them to pay for it and so forth. Anybody, for the most part, anybody could learn it. It doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you less to not have it. Books are available. If you want to learn about something, hell, most everything is online in some way, shape, or form. YouTube has revolutionized the lack of need for the handyman, because there's all kinds of people out there putting on videos of everything under the sun that needs to be done. You can learn it right there. I love y'all. I love y'all, and I want you to relax. Relax. Don't do it. When you want to fear to it, stop it. Relax. Have a good time. Go treat yourself. And treating yourself, there's a new subject, by the way, since I opened up that can of worms. Clean up your eating. You know when you're not eating good. You know the things that you shouldn't be eating. Or you know the things that it's okay to eat, but you shouldn't eat so damn much of it. Scripture says everything's good in moderation. We are a bunch of overindulging, obsessively crazy maniacs when it comes for food. By the way, grocery stores, there's nothing good in a grocery store. If that's where you're getting your main source of food, welcome. That's called suicide with your participation. You are slowly but surely killing yourself. Go find some good things. Make sure that you're drinking good water, eating good raw foods, that your system is more alkaline than acidic. You really need to pay attention to those foods. Try to tax your body less so that your immune system can thrive. If you're eating a bunch of crap that causes inflammation, such as dairy of any kind, and I know some people who are just as addicted to cheese as a crack addict is to crack. It causes mucus and inflammation. Inflammation is the beginning of all disease. You start thinking about these things. If you eat barbecued pork at a Sunday picnic and feel bloated as hell, hello, perhaps you should do that in limited quantities, maybe even give it up. I'm not telling you I eat perfect, because it's not cheap right at the moment to eat better. But for God's sakes, man, if you're still eating at McDonald's, you need to run full on into something that's hanging low so you can bump your head. There is nothing good at McDonald's. Seriously. Knock yourself out, and so that you wake up and go, I don't want to eat there anymore. There's dead baby parts in that food. All these other fast foods, any of these people who have entertained the idea of fake meat, why would you condone eating that? Listen, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan and you think that these veggie burgers are better for you than eating a big raw steak, you're all delusional. Every last damn one of you. Have you lost your damn mind? There is crap in these supposedly all natural veggie burgers and so forth. Please find some common sense. They are telling you that they don't have your best interest in mind. You're just not paying attention. Love yourself, man. Go take a salt bath. If you're near water or dirt, do not sit in a lawn chair with your shoes off and your feet on concrete. I mean, you can do that. It serves no purpose. Your body needs to be in direct connection every single day with the raw earth for as long as you can do that. Walk around barefoot. If you can sit in the mud on the bank of a river, a lake, dangle your feet. If you can get to an ocean or a sea, that salt water, and get your body in there. I'm not advising getting eaten by sharks or nothing, but that's like the ultimate. The ultimate. So there's God the Father. You don't move along to the Son. It's God the Mother, Gaia, where spirit, okay? Spirit and God the Father. God is the energy, the action, okay? Or the energy. So you put the spirit and the action and the energy, and that brings you to humanity, which is the child, and they put those things into action. They all have to talk to each other. They all have to commune, and sometimes it's just being connected to Earth, Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia has a lot to give, a lot of healing, a lot of restoration. If you're overweight, get outside. You don't have to exercise your butt off, but you're going to have to stop eating all those things and suppressing all those feelings that have got your endocrine system totally out of whack. You're a damn mess. And don't tell me what the doctors say. Don't tell me what these medical authorities say. Scientists and biologists are just repeating heads telling you the lies they were told. Now, some of them are evil, Dr. Fuji and so forth. Most of them, though, it's not that they intend to be bad. They're just repeating the same stupid stuff. This is true about religion as well. There are some people I care about who are ministers and so forth, and it breaks my heart. I have my youngest son from my loins. I know that he was in seminary. I do not know that he has graduated seminary or not, but I tried to have the discussion with him that the things that they profess are facts are not, and there's no way for you to really serve people if your head's full of a bunch of damn lies and misconceptions. This is true about every damn thing. I mean, it's not like not every newscaster is an evil, no good SOB. They're just doing what they're told. They're doing what they're told. Now, there's probably one evil fuck at every news station or in every radio station and so forth. Or at least the boss who's sending those memos down to fire guys like Tucker Carlson, who saw the error of his ways and decided to separate from it. Sometimes there's always somebody pulling strings. Nobody needs to be pulling strings. Nobody needs to think that they should have that kind of power over anybody. None. Be a good person, and we don't need police. Be a good person. If everybody carried a gun, seriously, if everybody was made to carry a gun, went through the proper training and everything, how many criminals do you think would be stupid enough to commit those crimes? A few. It might actually be thousands. But once thousands of people die at the hands of the people that were supposed to be their victims, how much longer do you think that's going to last? Seriously, come on now. Everything in the metaverse is cause and effect. Okay? If you screw me, whether I retaliate or not, you're going to get bad karma. Retribution will come to your doorstep. It might not be tomorrow. It might not be in a few months, but you're going to pay for it. If you discipline your child, and I don't have a problem with that, and I know that this is a whole nother can of worms, but let's say you have to tan the behind of somebody who's just kind of out of control because somebody else won't step up and offer that child any advice with you. And your emotions get hot, and suddenly you are tanning them out of anger. You may never, and that child may never even think twice about that ass whipping ever again, but there's going to be some bad karma that's released, and you're going to pay for it one way or the other. But what I'm trying to tell you is, if you have a hateful thought against somebody, if you conspire with a group of people who love to gossip and cause mischief in any way, shape, or form against another person, that shit is going to come back to all of you tenfold or more, depending on, how long did you say stupid and keep wishing ill upon somebody else. If somebody irritates you to the point where you don't want to be around them anymore, let them go. You too. Go on. Get on with your damn self. Do not wish people ill. Stop getting mad at people in traffic. Just hit your brakes. Thank God that you didn't get in a damn accident. The best offensive driver is a defensive driver. You got to pay attention. These things don't do themselves. There's plenty of stupid people out there. They intentionally do not teach people how to drive because they know that it causes accidents, which feeds industry upon industry upon industry. The car market benefits, the insurance market benefits, the hospitals, the doctors, the body shops, the paint shops, it just goes on and on and on. And they intentionally set this world of giant shit show on fire every day to maintain the illusion of we have to have this commerce and all these things, and we have to take care of it, and everybody's got to earn a living. Oh my goodness, people. This is absolute nonsense. You are going to learn some stuff, and I'm hoping that you will have an open mind to see it when they tell you the things that have never been told to you before. I'm 61 years old. In December, I will turn 62. I was born in 1961. Isn't that amazing? All this crap's going down. 61 years later. I have never been told the truth my entire life by people. I've been lied to and knew it right off the bat as a small child. I'm one of those people. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody else, but I'm one of those people who remember faces, conversations, things that went on when I was younger than 5 years old, or right around that time and beyond. I have clear memory of it. I'm different. Everybody knows that I'm different. Everybody has always known that I'm different. Not everybody is blessed with that, and it's not that you don't have the ability to, but some people were sent back to be completely agitated and crushed. They needed to go through all their final lessons in this lifetime. Well, guess what? I got to experience all the failures necessary to be standing here having this exhausted conversation about the fact that the majority of people have no clue that they have been lied to since the moment of birth. Their parents were lied to, so don't beat up on that. Don't get upset with the shitty things your parents did. They didn't know any better, and don't get upset at your grandparents because the shitty things that they taught their kids, or the shitty things that they did that affected you directly. They didn't know no better. It goes back a long way. This perpetual atmosphere of lies has been going on for a long, long time. Now, if you're interested in history, shortly before I came into the world, some good people had come along in America and tried to reverse the tide, to tell people the truth, and they all, two presidents went about it because one of the main control factors is our money, how we exchange wealth for things in this country, Lincoln tried to overturn basically what was the Fed back in his day and go back to a gold standard. What happened to him? We all know. Kennedy was doing the same thing. What happened to him? Okay. Saddam Hussein and what was the guy from Libya? This goes on and on. I mean, I'm just trying to give you a couple of other references. Every time a leader in his country that has been portrayed as batshit crazy, evil motherfucker, he was actually trying to do the right thing for his people in his country by kicking these Federal Reserve type bankings, the money cartels, the bank cartels, out and go back to a physical commodity, gold, silver, whatever, to back up their currency. And when they did, yeah, they got killed. So this fiat dollar that we've been using my whole lifetime, it's coming to an end. They want to replace it with a digital version of that and tell you that they solved the problem. No, they just get to start all over again with another mythical form of payment, except this time they'll be able to turn it on and turn it off at their will. So if you say something they don't agree with, like I'm sure somebody would pull up this video and go, oh no, he's effectively dead and we're going to just take all his money away. He won't be able to hold a job. He won't be able to buy food or things. He won't have gas for his car. Do you get it? Okay. Now, will there be a digital currency in the future? Yes. Will there be technology and protections to allow us to use that effectively, efficiently, without the control? Yes. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. There will be money, physical money, and digital money that is backed up by physical things, gold, silver, platinum, yada, 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 yada. Anyway, I know this goes on and on and on, and probably coming up here pretty soon, I'm going to start doing a very loose form of a podcast. You'll probably just start with Q&A sessions. Because I know there's a world of you out there who either want to correct me or ask questions. I don't know shit, but I know a lot of shit. I know people I shouldn't know. I have connections with people I shouldn't have connections with. I have a unique set of skills that have been put upon me, not by anybody, but blessings from the Creator that have allowed me, with my particular birthday, my sign, and all these other happy shit, I take on information faster than most computers. And because I have been given access to a lot of information sources, good and bad, I am able to evaluate it, kind of use my intuition and discernment, what is right, what is wrong, and regurgitate it and spit that out. I have been granted access to a lot of things that I have not been told to talk about. You'll see other influencers out there and they got all this super duper news. I got it either the same time they did, maybe even before, but it wasn't my time to talk. Guess what? It's my time to talk. There's not going to be a whole lot of discussion. I am not going to give you things that you need to know per se to get by, other than this conversation, and we'll clarify as things go down the road. But I'm kind of out of that realm now. They've stopped talking except to tell me it's my time. It's not my time to talk. The blessings that I will receive will be that I don't know exactly how it's going to happen, but you're going to see an awful lot of me, so just kind of get used to it. If you don't like what I'm saying, turn the TV off or whatever, the radio, wherever you're capturing it. But listen, I'm no better than anybody else, but for whatever reason, I do have a grip on what's going on. I don't know everything, but I learn much more than most people. So that's going to be to everybody's advantage. And I'm empathic. I just love people. So whether you love me back is, regardless of how I'm going to treat you, I'm going to give you the information. If you start to cause trouble, I'll stop talking to you. I'll do us both a favor. I can't make you do anything. I can plead with you. I'll try to hug it into you if I have you within that kind of physical proximity. This world is not what it was supposed to be. We will get it to go back. It won't take as long as some people think, but it won't be snap your finger overnight either. There are some people in this world, the Bible says this, and it's not the, by the way, I've read many of the other scriptures. The ones that you were told not to read, I've read those. There's good and bad in both. And there's many similarities. It would shock you. It would actually blow your mind. But the Holy Scriptures, the Judeo-Christian interpretations, have said that there would be a multitude. It's kind of an ambiguous number, but a multitude that their eyes would be open. I'm part of that group. Some of those people are referred to as the 144,000. It's just a reference. I don't know if there's a literal 144,000. Seems like an awful small number, but there were those of us, and listen, I'm still learning things I want to learn. So there are some people that are very specialized, at least in some areas that I have not learned all those things. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is their eyes would be open so that they could see these things ahead of time to prepare the overall population. It also goes on to say that there would be another multitude who would be blinded and would never know the truth. We need to come to grips with these two things. The people whose eyes were opened are no better than anybody else. They were just sent as a gift. Okay? They will ultimately become teachers, sages, wisdom healers, so on and so forth, and they will help you. They will continue to help you. They've been activists up to this point. Some worked on themselves, some didn't work on themselves, but we've been given special access ahead of time to raise the vibrations, to turn the test of time, to give the warnings. But there's going to be some people out there. You may be one of them. You may have people that are very, very close, near and dear to you, that are part of that multitude that they aren't ever going to figure it out. It doesn't matter how much information or how much we love them. They're going to die thinking it's all crazy. I want you to know that's not the end. Time and life is not a linear thing. It's a here and a now. There are different levels or dimensions of people experiencing different things simultaneously. There are a lot of, I'm going to say, entities involved with you coming back and what you do during that period of time. Now, I personally am of the belief from my own studies that when these people come back, they will have some advantages because evil, I don't believe, is going to exist on any of the other dimensions. They may have some struggles, just like we all did at first, because our memories are kind of wiped. But they won't have the roadblocks. They'll be able to learn easier in the future. For all of you who are 1 foot in the grave, stop that. You don't have to die if you don't want to, at least anytime soon. There is technology coming right around the bend. Whatever is ailing you most likely can get fixed. If you'll eat right, take care of yourself, drink the right foods, stop living dangerously, stupid. It's another word for dangerously. You can live as long as you'd like. And once again, even when you pass over, you will be back. You may come back in the same spot you were before, not as the same person, but you're going to pick up. These lessons continue. You will continue to evolve. Okay? Physically, though, we have to learn, we have to unlearn the way we were taught to take care of ourselves and learn or remember how we were built to take care of ourselves, how God intended. Gus, you're going to hear Gus a lot more often. God, universal consciousness, source, Gus. Gus put a lot of good things in us to allow us to overcome anything. And I mean anything. Every disease, all the stupidness that we have been led to believe that just happens naturally. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. You need to know. You just need to know that if you want to continue to live, I'm 61 years old. In many people's eyes, I've got 10 to 15 years of life left. It doesn't really matter what I do with it. I'm going to phase out, right? Old white men need to die. Well, I got news for you if that's your attitude and you continue to hang around for a while, because this old white dude isn't going nowhere. I am going to regain my physique, my health. I want to keep my gray hair and my loss of hair. They say I can grow hair back, but I don't know. That's a messy deal. It's bad enough to take care of the hair. You saw how short I've cut it because I don't have a good, straight-looking, and nice beard. It requires as much maintenance as a woman going to the beauty shop once a week. It's crazy. Actually, more often, depending on it, can be crazy. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know if I want to take care of a head full of hair and a Father Time beard at the same time. But we've all seen those pictures of these guys that are all buff and gray hair and so forth. And it turns on all those women over 50 and 60 years old. Oh, yeah. I'm not doing that to do that, but that's just my own self-image of myself. Yeah. I want to be the guy in the print ads. Not that I'll have a big head or be messed up, but I want to be in good shape. I was at one time. When I came out of the Air Force in 1987. I was ripped, boys and girls, strong as a damn horse. I want to make that look like child's play. It's just a personal goal. I don't want to get all caught up and crazy with it, but I know that I can. I know that it's easier than it was back then to become as physically fit as you want to be. So that reference in at the end of the book of Revelations, it says that we will have peace and guidance under Jesus for 1,000 years. Well, that's telling you right off the bat, you can live up to an additional 1,000 years. Whenever the supposed rapture was supposed to take place, you can live another 1,000 years, no matter where you are on your current journey. So snap out of it. You ain't dead yet. Stop giving up. I kind of want to push those boundaries. I want to get to the end of the 1,000 years. I want Satan to come back, unleashed from the bottomless pit. I want to go through that too and live another 1,000 years. I've known God from the beginning, and so have you, except I realized it. I used to say something, I still do, that was meant to be funny, but the more I said it over time, the more I realized, shit, that was a damn memory. It's not a funny thing to say, it was actually true. So we've probably all heard, or if you haven't, so this flat earth or globe, whatever it is, was a rock garden for Satan. Satan was sent here first. It was all volcanic and a big piece of shit. And before the garden was introduced, and Adam came down, all the spiritual entities existed. Adam and you and me and everybody else, we were all together. We just weren't on the planet, or flat earth, whatever. So the joke goes, I'm as old as God because I was one of the guys that was sent to put down the dirt over the rocks. Damn, I bet that really happened. I bet that really happened. Somebody had to cover that stuff up. So anyway, I know, lame humor. And by the way, I am a funny dude, at least in my own damn head. I guess maybe either I am funny or people thinking that I think I'm funny, they laugh anyway. You'll get used to it over time. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, hey, listen, I want you to seriously think about going to the grocery store. The grocery stores that I've been in, they seem to have the shelves are full. Getting a bunch of money out of the bank might be a little tricky, but you should try anyway. Go get that cash. It's Friday afternoon. Some of y'all just got paid today. Go retrieve a bunch of it. Even though it's worthless, it is the form of exchange, and you'll be able to exchange it for whatever the new is that pops up if it happens to happen here real soon. But I can guarantee that if you make the intention of keeping your family or yourself at home come Monday for as long as it takes, the nonsense will end. The people who don't believe will believe all of a sudden, because the good guys can't, and the bad guys, they can't let this get that out of hand. Media flies at the speed of light now. Whether they want the information to go out or not, there are people on the internet who have ways of getting information to other people around the world in seconds. Listen, back when I was an active researcher, I always trusted the information that came to me out of the damn blue within minutes about something I would not hear on the news for maybe weeks, or at least a couple of days. And it would always turn out that the first things that I heard were spot on, 100% accurate. They got convoluted the longer they delayed the release of the information, if they ever did release the information publicly. So what I'm trying to tell you is, if a large number of people sit their ass at the house and stay there, that news will spread like wildfire. What you don't know is in all these other countries, and hi, by the way, if you're watching, I have friends all over the world, by the way. There have been demonstrations in other countries. You may have seen and thought those pictures were faked, of crowds, millions of people on the streets and so forth. Let me tell you, what you see on the news and you hear even from good sources, they're not telling you how the revolution of sorts is going on everywhere else. America is intentionally kept in the dark, because if we knew that these things, if the majority of people knew what was really going on, and that's what would happen if you sit your ass at the house and your employer threatens to take away your job. Screw him, by the way. He doesn't have that kind of power. Don't worry, you'll be taken care of. Trust me, I promise you. If you're going to put yourself in a bad way, please don't do that. But if you do, if you can survive for a little bit, sit your ass down. Starting this weekend, Monday morning, do not go to work. Sit your butt down. It will become the lead story, not on the news, and then suddenly on the news, and all this fun and mayhem that's been going on will come to a screeching halt, because they will be forced to deal with it in a very rapid manner. We do not need to take up arms. We do not need to go and kill anybody. We just need to sit down. Just stop. Just stop. Stop participating. Stop. The only reason it continues is because you keep buying into it and you aren't allowing it. You're going to work, living out of fear that you're going to get fired and lose your money, and you're not going to be able to do this. You can do any damn thing you damn want to. Okay? I can promise you, if you take that time to get right with yourself a little bit and start putting your faith back where it belongs, there is a higher power. It comes from all of us who are vibing a little higher, okay? That power and the Creator. There is a trine, a trinity of how we came about. They do not ill will you. They are not angry at you for anything you've done up to this moment. they will ensure that you are taken care of. They will move things in such a fashion that it might get stressful a little bit. But if your faith is strong, you won't be bugging out. There are people in my life right now, frenemies, who are absolutely pissed because they have ensured physically that I'm in the position that I'm in, living in this fine Jeep packed with what I thought I needed. Out of money, nowhere to go. They thought that I would be a basket case and come running back, that I would cower, and that I would beg for assistance. Listen, if somebody wants to send me some money, I have asked. If you do or you don't, it's okay. It is okay. If you insist on sending a few dollars or a bunch of money, I ain't gonna stop you. The powers, the real powers that be, are taking care of me. I'm surviving. Am I comfortable? Shit, no. At one point, I was 6'1". I am somewhere just underneath that, maybe down to 5'11" now, because I settled, right? My skeletal structure settled. This is a Jeep Renegade. It's the smallest damn Jeep they make. And I've stuffed it. It's at least 500 pounds overweight. There's no other room for another human being in there. There's no room for me. I should not spend any time in that damn thing other than to get from one place to another, like most people do in their cars. But I'm living in it. So sometimes if the weather is bad and so forth, I am stuck sitting in that seat overnight. I have nowhere to go. So I sleep in a semi-upright position. I can't even really lay the seat down. I haven't had a real meal, a good meal, and I don't know how long. I know that even though I'm more at peace than I was, I am running on a level of adrenaline since October. It's a higher, I don't know how to put it. It's not an anxiety-driven adrenaline, fear-driven adrenaline. So I'm not suffering, but you can only do that for so long, right? So we're talking 6 months of I have been blessed, I'm still alive. I'm getting better. Physically, I know I'm getting better. I might not feel as comfortable as I should, but physically I am getting better, when most people would have given the ghost up, would have killed them to go through the crap I've gone through, to have irregular sleep cycles and all this stuff. And of course the physical restraints of it's crazy. Anyway, you can endure far more than you think you ever have if you've been through some stuff. And if you haven't been through some stuff, I want to be a living example to let you know these movies that you see where these guys are left in the jungles after doing what they got to do during wartime and so forth, and the lone survivor and all that. They are heroes. It is extraordinary because we don't see it every day, but we are all capable of doing those things. Most of these guys in those situations, by the way, even these theoretical heroes in movies that we see, we all have the ability to deal with that kind of stress. But you'll find that most of those people have a very deep belief in a higher power, and that gives them the strength. Sometimes that higher power is their wife, girlfriend, mom, dad. Maybe they're a single parent. Maybe it is Jesus. Maybe it's themselves. Guess what? All those things are the same. You just got to believe that you can, because as soon as you believe that you can, you have faith that there's no way for you to fail. You won't fail. You can't fail. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but you won't fail. You'll win every time. Come out smelling like a rose. They talk about cats having 9 lives. Oh, a cat ain't shit compared to me. I have been stomped down, dragged through the mud, and tried to kill me physically, mentally, spiritually, so many times. Some of you have heard this story. It's not really a story. I'm not making it up, although it sounds good in print. And you probably will here too. Listen, I know Satan. Met him personally over and over again. We are on a first name basis. The last time that I got to see him, the last time they really, really, really got to me, I had a forced vacation. Spent some time there in anguish. And he said, if you're not going to stay, go away and never come back. You're bad for business. Now, I thought I had him beat at that point, got a little cocky. And as soon as I overcame that situation, I was stricken down with about almost 2 years worth, about 18 months worth of physical persecution that caused, there were 12 surgeries. I mean, doctors not caring for me appropriately, one thing leading to another. They tried to kill me. Subsequently, since then, I have been poisoned repeatedly. Mentally, all messed up. I mean, he just keeps coming. He doesn't want me back in hell until he can snuff me out completely. He wants me to give up and give my soul away. Well, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. So, if you hear me talking about this, that, and the other thing that's happening in my life, it's not necessarily because I'm drawing it to me, although my calling is higher, so I am calling it to me. If you are meant for greatness, you're going to have to go through the fire, the crucible. You're going to have to be refined with much responsibility. You have to have the wisdom to back it up and the experience. And sometimes the wisdom doesn't come until the experience, and the experience means that you're going to fail miserably. That's where you get your experience. Okay, tragedy, failure. That's experience. If you had some sort of illusion that that's not what that was, I'm here to straighten that out for you. My wisdom comes from all of those failures. Wise? Yeah. So I was given a leg up when I arrived here, but I can tell you that the crash course that they put me on in life, when people hear my entire story, they start to relate to it. They start to understand that they too had their own versions of it. Some have had worse, some have had a little less, but we've all been put through some shit. We just didn't understand why. Okay, some answered the call, some didn't. I guess I did some work and I was drunk or something when I signed the contract to come back for this last mission, because I certainly wouldn't have done that with a clear conscience, I don't think, unless I am angelic of another order that I'm not familiar with. I don't know. I don't claim to be. Listen, I learned of some talents from other people. I do not have illusions of grandeur. I do not think I can do things just because I think that would be cool. People have revealed to me, and then I go searching a little bit longer and kind of put myself in the position to hear another person who has the gift of seeing things in others that they don't necessarily see themselves. So I have had that privilege, and when these things come to me, you start paying attention, you go, I'll be damned if they're not right. I do have those things. We all have these gifts. It's just a matter of when are you going to understand that you can access it, and then take the steps to access it. I don't know that everybody in the future is going to have the benefit of having some person stumble into your life who says, hey, did you know this about yourself? Because I've had that on more than a few occasions. And so if I ever tell you that something that sounds a little suspicious, like, why does he think that way about himself? I didn't come up with it on my own. I verified it. I did verify it. But, and let me do this. You're going to see enough of me that if anybody wants to confront anything that I say, I'm very comfortable in that. I want you to know that part of my success, and this needs to be true for everybody, is my openness to new information. So when you hear somebody say, this is my truth, what that really means is it might not be the absolute truth. It is their truth with the information that they have at that time. It is of the highest order. It is the best possible truth they can give you. That's what that means. That you always have to be humble enough to not think that you know everything. I know a lot of things, but I don't know nothing. I know more than, your knowing, it's all there. Everything there is, because you are a fractile of God. So you have it all. He intentionally does not give you access to all of it. It makes you go through all these lifetimes because great responsibility comes with the ability to create and destroy at will. We have that basic function. We can do those things, but he's not going to just let us all go off willy-nilly, with our egos out of check, doing crazy stuff. So we have to learn to be responsible with it. Obviously, there's a bunch of people that have been in control for at least a few thousand years there who did not use their abilities wisely. They used it for bad, and therefore everything I just said is justified, and you're not fully being able to be just like God. But I want you to remember something for all of those who think that, he's saying he's God. He's so sacrilegious. Jesus was put on the cross, supposedly, because he said he was God. Now, I know y'all think he's his son, and blah, 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 blah. Jesus' own words, he said, and forgive me if I don't quote this perfectly, but you will do, he was talking to the disciples, but in general, this was an open statement, really. It just happened to be the audience he was talking to. You will do greater things than I. Even the disciples, why would he even say that? What he was saying is, there's nothing about me you can't do. There is nothing about me you can't do. You are me, I am you. I am only here to show you as an example of your own potential. If you think you're evil, if you think you're a sinner, if you think that you're less than, even for those who are enlightened, I ran into a 22-year-old kid on YouTube doing a tarot reading. He's gifted, boys and girls. He's been through some shit, but he's smart. He's got a college degree and so forth at the age of 22, but he's also been in jail. He's still growing. He's got a lot of growing to do. But let me tell you, one of the things that upset me was he was kind of giving his own testimony to a degree yesterday. And he said, listen, I ain't this and I ain't that, and I'm like, oh yeah, you are. You are. See, these limiting beliefs that have been put upon us that we are less than, listen, when I say I don't know shit, that's only because the number of things to know is so vast you couldn't comprehend it. But at the same time, you have to go, I do know some shit. I know more than the average bear walking down the damn street, and I know it. I can prove it. There are other people who have woken up to their own abilities, whatever they may be. But for you to put a label on one person because he went to school and say he is greater than the person who didn't go to school, well, you're fooling. That's an illusion at both ends, and you're causing an unnecessary rift. That's not true. We all are equal at different places within our journey. The only limit is the one we accept. When you grow on your journey and understand that you have no limits, you will do better. And when you do better, you will become better. And then you'll suddenly know the things you don't know, or didn't know, and that might be greater than those people who spent all that time in school learning the other things. Whatever that happens to be. Engineering, biology, it doesn't matter. We are all capable. These thoughts that you're not capable have been put upon those who are willing to accept it. And that is their restraint. They are in a set of chains trapped in their mind because they accepted the bullshit somebody else said. You're limitless, unlimited. Your potential, which they've even kind of ruined that. Well, everybody's got potential, but some people will never live. Yes, and no. Most of the time we don't live up to our potential, whatever that is, because of limitations that we have accepted that somebody else put on us by attaching a label. College is a very expensive training school, tech school. They smother it in a gravy called ego and exceptionalism. So while you're there, they keep feeding you amongst the technical information they're sharing with you that you are better than everybody else because of the experience you're having at school. I just know too many people who went and spent their money and still don't know dog shit. And I know you do too. And if you don't know that and understand that that's the case, and that there's nothing special about those people other than the amount of money and the time they spent doing those things, don't put any influence on yourself. It's not going to happen in a snap of your fingers, but you'd be amazed how quickly life can change. It will seem like it turned on a dime. The people that you've looked your entire life up to, when you find out what kind of people they were, and that they never deserved the respect you gave them, the adoration, maybe it'll help you with this, because nobody deserves to be standing on a pedestal. I hope to do many, many great things, but as soon as somebody puts me on a pedestal, I'll start doing these lives out of a hole in the ground. I mean, I don't know how else to better put it. It doesn't matter who or where the message came from, as long as you heard the message, learned the lesson, followed by the reward, the blessing. You will get a blessing. You'll stop judging, stop envying, stop labeling, stop thinking that so-and-so is better than so-and-so and their skin color is not right and their skin color is right and these people are bad and those people are good. Listen, you have been a man, you have been a woman, you have been a transvestite, you have been a homosexual, you have been a lesbian, you've been a good person, you've been a bad person, you have been a psycho murderer and as gentle as a butterfly or a woman, innocent as a dove, and as horrific as the monsters that supposedly killed the people in Auschwitz. You are everything all balled up in one, whether you know it or not. So stop differentiating. You've been all those things, and one day you're going to see it all at once. Ain't nobody ready for that. But you need to understand it ahead of time. Every time you come back as something different so that you can learn and experience something different. And as I said before, there are some contracts where people come back to jack off and have a good time. It's like, I want to get off the Ferris wheel a little bit here. I don't want to learn this time. Can I just have the lap of luxury? Or whatever they choose. Not luxury isn't the most important thing to every single person. Whatever they choose, though, they can come back and learn absolutely jack-diddly squat. They just spend their time and move on. They come back and then they're refreshed and ready to go again. We have all been blessed, whether you think so or not, to be here at this moment in time. Even those people who are blinded, they are getting an experience that they will be able to one day refer back to and go, oh my goodness, look what I did. Look what I agreed to do and be like during that moment. That's incredible. Listen, you're incredible. I believe in you. I believe that whether you believe anything I said, and I don't want you to believe anything I said, I want you to go out and try to put me down. Put me down. Go ahead, you do that. Prove me wrong. Fill my comment section. Blow it up. Run it off. I want you talking about me for as long as possible, good or bad. But the days of sitting still, idly, acting like you can't do anything, yeah, those days are over. You've been warned. This is it. Somebody's going to be there to shine a light on all the crap. I'm going to be one of those lights. So I hope I get to love you and experience your love back, because you found at least a shred of truth in the things that I've had to say here. I've taken up more than my fair share of time. I really kind of get aggravated when I see other people's videos that last an hour or more. You kind of lose your audience, but I hope this is impactful. I do accept contributions. I do have a humanitarian business that I will be putting more together formally. Zen Trinity Living Project. You can donate. I won't have links necessarily, but if you in the comments share that you would like to contribute or know how to get in touch with me without additional information, please do so. If not, let me know that I need to get in touch with you, and then we will exchange that information. I love you whether you give me a dime or a nickel or nothing or a couple $100. It doesn't matter. Listen, you do what you feel you want to do. And if nothing is what you feel like doing, don't worry about it, okay? I always fall on my feet. I always come out smelling like a rose. Doesn't matter how crappy things have gotten. I'll be all right. I want you to be all right. When I say I love you, I am talking to a couple of specific people out there. I feel need to hear that at that particular time, but I'm also talking to everybody. And I will continue to say that because I do love all of you. I know that's almost incomprehensible to love unconditionally everybody, but even my worst enemies, listen, I feel great sorrow for those people. They don't even have any idea the destruction they're bringing upon themselves. I'm still trying to get past my ideas of taking somebody down who's tried so hard to ruin me. But I'm getting better at it because I found out that I have a whole bunch of ancestors. I lost my son, if you don't know that, about 9 years ago. He and I did not have a good relationship at the time. Many of his issues in life stemmed around the fact that we did not have a good relationship. When he died, he did not. I don't remember anybody telling me that he believed in God. He has evidently elected not to come back. And I have gotten this message over and over again from a variety of people who feel the energies from the spirits. And this one statement comes back. Your son is going to defend you from the spirit world until death. Well, if I got to live 2,000 years, he's going to have to remove a whole lot of other entities, because that's another thing that y'all need to learn before I go away. People will love you, people will hate you, and it doesn't matter. You just keep on moving. If you're a hater, I'm praying for you right now. I'm going to continue to keep you in my heart. I'm going to keep space and hold it for when you grow up. For those people who love and sometimes get hurt, more often than not get hurt because they love too much, yeah, I'm with you because I'm one of those people. Don't let it stop you. You just keep on loving. Listen, if somebody doesn't have enough damn sense to love you back, go love somebody else. And I'm not saying love somebody else in a vengeful or spiteful way. You just keep loving. And if you get the opportunity to love somebody else who eventually loves you back 100%, as well, unconditionally. There's your reward, and there's their punishment. You don't have to do anything further. You don't have to go looking for it. It'll eventually happen. And that karma thing is real. There have been some people who have done some horrific things against me in my lifetime, and I used to feel like I needed to take them out. They're going to get their due, whether I ever do a thing. And so I am actively trying to love them until their last days. I hope they get better before that happens. So I love y'all. I hope to hear from y'all. Go prepare. Sit down on Monday. Let's bring this nonsense to an end. It's crazy. Really, seriously, it is as easy as that. And if you'll start posting or telling your friends that that's what you intend to do, more and more people will join in. I promise you. It's the easiest thing you can do in the world. If you are financially in a spot where you can just sit down, do it. Do it. Grow a set, as they say. Male or female, masculine, feminine. Grow a set. Sit your ass down. Get right with yourself. Turn off the TV. Eat some food. Don't obsess about anything. It'll all take care of itself. There's so much stuff that is in motion for that moment. When that moment shows up, those things will go into play. All those people are already in place. Everything will come to a head real quick like. Yep. So I know that some of my friends in high places are probably not wanting me to say that. I've never been endorsed to say that. That's my own personal beliefs. And I've been chastised before for sharing my thoughts based on information that I was given. But anyway, I might see you over the weekend. I might not. I don't know. I'm going to give you time to digest this. I know I want to read all the comments and respond to everybody who, might have a different opinion. If you get real nasty with you, I'm going to tell you I'm just going to block you because I'm not going to chase my own tail and have you come after me like that. If you got an intelligent question, I'm going to answer it. If you're just showing love or your agreement, I might just give you a heart back. Believe me, we're going to get our day to talk one-on-one. All you lovely souls out there that have supported me quietly, some publicly, some not. We're going to get our time. You're going to hear more things. I was told to keep my mouth shut for a long, long time. I straightened things out when they needed to be straightened out. I took action when I needed to take action, but I stayed out of the limelight for the most part. So those days are done, and we're going to move forward. I love you. I really do. I love you. I want you to know I've got enough love to give y'all, so I love you. Take care. Peace out.